Whether you're in the market to buy right now or you're saving up to buy in the future, it's important to know how credit works on your behalf or against you. My name is Candyss Bryant. I'm with Realty Texas, your local neighborhood realtor, back with more tips, tricks, and strategies in regards to your home buying, selling, and leasing process. Always giving you 100% and then some. So, why is it important to understand and to know how to improve your credit? Okay, one answer. In fact, it's a one-word answer, and that is interest. This is the stuff that they don't talk to us about in school. So, let's rewind and go back to the basics. Interest is the money you pay to borrow money. So let's say that again. Interest is the money you pay to borrow money, right? Ideally, you want the lowest interest rate possible. Why? Lenders judge your risk level, okay? Lenders judge your risk level and then establish the interest rate. So lenders judge your risk level by your credit score. So for example, if you have a credit score in the 800s, that typically means that you pay back on time, you pay as agreed, and you're low risk. So your interest rates are going to be lower. Credit scores in the 500 to 600 range usually means you've had some experience in problems paying back on time or not paying back as agreed. And in order to take the risk to lend you money, they're going to charge you a higher interest rate. So let's talk about what makes up your credit score. In fact, there's 5 things that go to making up your credit score. We'll review them really quickly and then we'll kind of break each one down. Number 1 is your payment history. Number 2 is the amount you owe. Number 3 is your length of credit history. Number 4 is your new credit, and number 5 is your mix of credit. Okay, so let's go back to the top and let's talk about payment history. Now, this makes up 35% of your credit score, and this means what goes into this is that you agree or you pay as agreed. Did you pay by the due date, right? All of that kind of is factored into this payment history score. It's the most important score on your credit report. So if you have issues with your credit, this is what you're really going to want to make sure. You want to make sure you pay on time and you pay as agreed. Number 2 is the amount owed. Now, this is the amount you have borrowed today. That's the amount when they pull your credit. What they can see is that you owe right now. And are you at your limit, right? They want to make sure that you have money available, meaning that you have, for example, that you have a credit card and you have a $20,000 limit on the card. You don't want to borrow all $20,000 on that card if at all possible, right? They want to see how much that you owe compared to your amount of credit. You want to borrow no more than like 50%, right? Number 3, the length of your credit history. Now, this is one you don't have a whole lot of control over. This is really your age and how old some of your credit lines are. I would say, for example, I have a credit card, a revolving line of credit that I've had open since my college years in 1998. And that helps me in my length of credit history because that card goes all the way back to 1998. So it's good. Sometimes I think folks are tempted to close some of those older credit lines, and it can work to your favor to keep them open and just don't use them. Keep them open, but just don't use them. Number 4 is new credit. Now, if you're getting ready to buy a house, it is absolutely essential that you do not open any more credit. Don't go out and buy the car. I mean, that's what a lot of people use as an example. In fact, that happens all of the time. You getting ready to buy a house and you need a new car and you go out and buy that car. Don't do it. In fact, you want to stay away from opening any store cards or any other lines of credit. You don't always know what's going to throw your credit score off, because immediately your credit score is going to go down, because not only have you opened a new line of credit showing that you're borrowing, but your debt to income ratio changes, right? So now you have more credit available, you've got more money that you owe, so all of those different areas in your credit score will drop immediately, and that's just not something that you want to do before you go to buy a house. We've seen it happen that you're in underwriting and they pull everything and notice that you opened credit and they will no longer lend to you. So it's essential that you don't open any new lines of credit. And the fifth element of your credit score is your mix of credit. Now, this makes up 10% of your credit score. And when we say mix of credit, think your credit cards are revolving lines of credit, but then you have car payments, which is a form of credit. You might have other mortgages, which are forms of credit. You might have school loans that are forms of credit. So all of those things make up your mix of credit. You don't want to be too weighted down in revolving lines of credit, but really have kind of a healthy mix. So there's your 5 elements that make up your credit score. Now, if you have credit issues, we've all probably have at some point in time or another, you want to get knowledgeable. In fact, federal law says that you are owed a free credit report by each of the credit agencies every year. Right? So you can go to Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, and ask for your free credit report. Each year they owe you one. You could go to annualcreditreport.com, and I'll put that in the comments below. That will help you solicit for those credit reports. Super important to stay knowledgeable about what's happening on your credit. Sometimes there are errors and you want to be able to appeal and take care of those errors. You might notice that what you haven't noticed before, that something wonky is happening within your credit, and you want to be able to deal with it as soon as possible. So gain awareness, fix any errors, and just stay on top of everything. If a score is low, here's a really great tip, and this is easy to do. If your score is a little bit lower than you would like it to be, and you could use a boost in a few points on your credit in order to qualify for a lower interest rate, you might want to call some of those revolving lines of credit and ask them to increase your available credit to them. And so that might be a credit card that has given you a $10,000 limit, and they increase your limit by analysis to $15,000 or $20,000. That actually boosts your credit score. It's not new credit, so it doesn't reflect there, but it boosts you in available credit that you're not using, showing that you have, that you have that you're handling your credit responsibly. If you like these tips and you would like to learn about other tips, tricks, and strategies in your home buying process, write me a note below, send me an email, send me a text. You can find me just about anywhere online, and I look forward to talking to you.